Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a homemade apple pie filling. Nothing beats apple pie, in my opinion. So I wanted to show you how to make the filling, instead of using a canned version or frozen version, how to make apple pie filling yourself. So I'm going to show you kind of some of the ingredients and why I choose to use those before I am actually going to put those into a pie crust. So I had used, and some of them are already cut up here, about 7 to 8 Golden Delicious apples. Now, the argument is out there, the debate is out there as to what is the best apple to use for a pie, and it's totally up to you and your choice. I know people that use McIntosh apples. I know people that use a mix of Granny Smith, Honey Crisp, Golden Delicious. I personally like the Golden Delicious because I think they hold up really well. They don't get really runny. They make for a really great flavored filling, but also really great texture, and it doesn't get super runny. So that's why I choose the Golden Delicious apples. They're always my go-to for pies. So in here, I have about 7 smaller apples cut up. I'm gonna show you what to do in terms of cutting it up. So you wanna make sure that you wash your apple, which I have done already. And then you're gonna take a peeler. I like to challenge myself to see if I can get the peel off in one big giant strand. You can use that. My mom actually has like a little crank for peeling apples, and it actually cuts it at the same time. If you have one of those are probably the fastest way, but your hands are a really good go-to as well. So I've peeled my apple, and now I'm gonna cut the sides off of my apple, and you're left with the core, which can go into the garbage can. Once you have all your peels done, you can toss those. I like to use the bag as like my catcher. If you have any pieces left from your core, you can go ahead and cut those off there. So I'm just gonna cut those into about 1/4 inch slices, just so they're all nice and even. Some people do chunks. Whatever you choose to do, you just want it to be consistent. So now I'm gonna take my 8th apple and toss that into my bowl. I'm gonna get my cutting board out of the way here, and we'll chat a little bit about my other ingredients. So my next ingredient is gonna be a 1/2 cup of white sugar, and that's gonna add some sweetness to that. Some people use more or less. I think 1/2 cup just adds just the perfect amount. I'm gonna do about 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, or this would be about a 1/2 lemon squeezed. Just kind of gives a nice little contrast. We're gonna add to that 1/4 cup of flour. Some people will do about 3 tablespoons. If you're gonna do a berry pie, you're gonna be looking at more like 6 tablespoons or 1/3 cup. The worst thing that you can have is, and I'm looking at the amount of apples I have, I'm gonna use probably about 3.5 tablespoons. And then I'm going to add some cinnamon. So what the flour does, it's a thickening agent. You can use cornstarch as well. But it actually creates like that nice solid filling. I usually eyeball my cinnamon, about 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And then all you do is basically take your hands and mix that all together, just like that. You don't need a spoon. I think the spoon kind of crushes the apples all up. And that sugar giving it some nice sweetness. The flour is gonna kind of thicken it while it's cooking in the pie. Lemon gives some contrast, and cinnamon gives that nice homey flavor. Other people add things like cranberries, walnuts. You add pears to an apple pie filling. I just like the plain old apples, and there our filling is ready to go into our pie.